I don't know whether to mourn. Mourn who? Mourn for what? I saw Buhari's daughter crying in front of the hospital. These people think that they are special while we are animals. Buhari's wife is purported to, is alleged to have said that her husband asked for forgiveness for the mistakes he made. So Buhari knows the word forgiveness. When Ogedegbe and Bartholomew Owo were retroactively sentenced to death for trafficking in drugs. I hate drug trafficking. The whole world pleaded with Buhari to commute their sentences. Buhari tied them to the stake and fired them, shot them. Buhari, forgiveness for NYSC members that were killed because you talked about baboon and monkey blood, because of your greed, your vain ambition to win elections. People's children were killed. Forgive you, Buhari, when you said that Sharia is something you must pursue to its logical conclusion. And people's hands were cut off in some of the states for stealing goat. Meanwhile, your cronies, they say you are as clean as a whistle. One rubbish human being that talked rubbish throughout his houseboyship with you. Clean as a whistle. The man that's in the Bible that returned the one talent they gave to him was clean as a whistle, but he was unproductive. Buhari, what did you contribute to the development of Nigeria from the military era till you spent 8 years, wasted 8 years of the life of our country, set us back 80 years, and went to die in London? Koni Dafwe should forgive you. The children that were shot dead during EndSARS, their parents should forgive you. The ones that were thrown into the river, the ones that disappeared without trace, their parents should forgive you because you are so special. I was amazed to see northern youths dancing Buhari Yamutu. Really Yamutu. They were dancing for your own people to be celebrating, for your own people to be dancing in the streets. Some of them were dancing inside water. Water shows how bad and wicked you are. Buhari was a cancer in our country. They say we should not talk ill of the dead. The dead should behave well while they are alive, so that we won't talk ill of them. Shakespeare said that the evil that men do lives after them. And if the evil lives after them, the comments will live after them. Buhari had an opportunity, was governor of Gongola State, became military head of state, became president twice, and he didn't do anything. We must talk ill of wicked people who create evil in our country, so that those who are alive will know what will become of them. Now, Buhari died in London. All the mumu, useless human beings, they are flying down with our money. With our money. Nigerian embassies.
Nigerians, shame on you all for celebrating Buhari's death. Shame on every Nigeria celebrating Buhari's death. And Nigerians are always known for this. Whenever one of their bad leader died, they will took on street and be celebrating the person's death. They will be happy that this particular person have died. My question to most of you that always do this, let me even talk about Buhari. Most of you celebrating Buhari's death. In Kano now, Kano people took on street, they were rejoicing and celebrating Buhari's death. Now, you that you are celebrating Buhari's death, what Buhari have achieved in 1 year in his tenure, If you have 50 years, if you have 40 years, if you have 60 years, Buhari achievement in 1 year is more than what you've achieved in that 60 years in that country called Nigeria.
They celebrate another person don't die. This is another level of being heartless, wickedness, and because you know be your family member, you know they're related to Ram. If you say you're not involved. So that is why I would say most Nigerians lack empathy. They only put themselves for other people's shoes. You get? Because you cannot be celebrating another person's father's death. You get? How you go feel if any of your person die and another person they celebrate them like this? I keep saying that that's the problem a lot of us have. We don't put ourselves in other people's shoes, so we just talk, just let emotions talk. Okay, look, we even ask you now, what in Buhari do you? Okay, this Nigeria where you say you know rule well during in time now, if they give you, can you do any better? Because people, they always have been ruled. People, they always have been ruled if they never reach that place. A lot of you Nigerian youths will do worse. You guys are already, your leadership skills don't already they show themselves. Say, you people cannot outperform most of these current leaders that we have. Person die. Even if you don't feel mourn, the person will die. But that means just keep quiet. I've never been a fan of people that come to laugh at people when they die. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's totally out of place for anyone to be celebrating that Buhari has died. Because if you celebrate, say Buhari died today, another person will celebrate, say person way close to you die tomorrow. It's crazy.
I just ended a conversation with one of my friends back in the days in the university who wrote a post mocking Buhari, and I felt like, I know this is not supposed to be so. Buhari does not deserve to be mocked in death, because all of us will go one day, and we do not want people to be talking negatively about us or only be talking about our negative sides. So if we do not have anything to say about Buhari, please keep quiet. Keep quiet, because nobody is perfect. By the time you also leave the state, people will have a lot to say about you. In fact, some people will not even leave the state before people start saying a lot about them. So please, the message today is that you should show the dead some respect. Show Buhari some respect. So, and this is a man who has fought a lot of battles in this country as a military man, as a head of state, as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as, in fact, if you can prove to us that Buhari was corrupt when in government, please bring your evidence. He was not corrupt. Even if this alone is the only good thing you remember about Buhari. And by the time you look around you can talk about the good things that Buhari has actually done. I'm a Yoruba man. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will be credited to Buhari. The Lagos-Ibadan railway system will be credited to Buhari. And many other fantastic projects like that. Think around you, look around you, you will see something good to say about Buhari. But if you do not find anything good about Buhari, keep your mouth shut. He does not deserve to be mocked. Thank you very much.
I don't feel anything about his death.
I felt bad about his death.
I'm feeling bad.
We thank God he has money to take care of himself. Otherwise, I've gone before this time around.
It's normal. It's his turn for him to die.
Should I say I'm happy? I'm actually sad though.
I was like, wow. Well, like a lot of people wanted him to die. Actually, he didn't die. So why after he has already ruled?
You only get shocked about the death of a leader that have performed well.
To me, it's a contraband to Nigeria. It's an error.
I'm indifferent about it. I just feel like I'm not really sad, I'm not really happy. Thank you so much, President Muhammadu Buhari, for your time there. We felt it was a punishment to us, but notwithstanding, I feel pained though.
Though his style of leadership was terrible, but what can we do? He's a human being and he was once a president of this country. We just have to fulfill the pain.
I pray God will forgive his sins and grant him paradise.
See, yeah, I'm not one to wish death on a person or celebrate the demise of a person. But at the same time, I can sympathize with someone or people that are celebrating the death of an individual due to circumstances. Yesterday, we had the passing of former President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. And a lot of Nigerians have come out celebrating his death. But not just that, also, cursing his family, cursing his kids, and also cursing current people in power, president, their kids, and all sorts. And I know a lot of people might be thinking, oh, that's very distasteful. But at the same time, I sympathize with the people in that position. Do you know how bad you have to be as a person that people are celebrating your demise? Do you know how bad you've had to make things bad? Like how bad you have to make life bad, like worse for people, for them to actually celebrate your demise? Yeah? These are people since, since independence, have watched a certain group of Nigerians get into power and literally suck the lifeblood of that country. Suck the lifeblood of that country. Strip the country of its resources, embezzlement, put the country in debt. While these families have enjoyed life of luxury, the majority of Nigerians have had to either get it out of the mud. People have died as a result of poverty from a country that is so resource rich. That people should be having the best standard of education in that country. That people should be having the best standard of healthcare in that country. That, infrastructure should be of the best standard. But because of the greed of a few people, the country is in a downward spiral. It's in a downward spiral. So yeah, I can sympathize with people that have so much, anguish within them that hearing your demise gives them celebration. It's screwed up, but I can sympathize with them. Just imagine every year you've had to see these people fly out of the country to go get medical help or whatever, treatment abroad. When in their own country, they can't provide that same level of medical care to the general public. Not even a basic to the general public. You've seen these people fly their kids out for education, but the people in the country can't get basic education. You've seen this time and time again, and you expect these people to mourn for you when you pass? It's crazy. It's crazy, but that's the reality. I can sympathize with the majority of Nigerians that feel anger towards the establishment and the people within it. And some of the kids of the establishment. Because some of those kids have benefited greatly from the dubious natures of the parents. Knowing fully well what their parents have done to the country and how much they benefited from it. But are still willing to buck the trend and continue with the exploitation of the country. It's a sad situation. But this should be food for thought. The reason why people are this angry and are celebrating your demise is because you've treated the people like rubbish.
It's very sad that we are even having a conversation about mourning a person who left this country broken, did everything he could, everything Buhari touched, he destroyed. He destroyed human rights, he destroyed the economy, he destroyed the dignity of person, he destroyed the social cohesion of the nation known as Nigeria. And I'm not one of the persons who is out there pretending that I miss him. I don't miss him. I was also one of his personal victims, and this is a time to really commiserate and show empathy to his victims from when he was a soldier, someone who participated in killing of people in the Southeast for 30 months during what is now known as the Nigerian Civil War. When he was a military head of state, he violated human rights. He extrajudicially killed some young people who they accused of carrying drugs. When he came back the second time, you know his story. Yes, killings of Shiites, killings of people in southern Kaduna, the killings of NSAS protesters in Lagos, killings for the second time of southeastern young people who were branded as IPOB. The destruction of the Nigerian economy, the destruction of the healthcare system to the point that he himself had to die in a clinic in London because they didn't care about building anything here. Nigeria, which is the country they govern. So it's been a terrible legacy, and I'm not one of the people who want to be politically correct, because I see a lot of politicians falling over themselves trying to pen tributes to Buhari as if Buhari was the best thing to happen to Nigeria since the invention of peanut butter. It wasn't, and that's the truth. And I've also seen some of his victims, poor kids in Kano jubilating on the street. I've seen people with bullhorn announcing his death quite derisively. So it's, for me, on a personal level, Buhari was responsible for the death of my younger brother. Buhari violated my rights. Buhari is responsible for why my mom had stroke since 5 years ago. So I said those on the personal level. But this is not personal vendetta. This is about a very honest assessment of a guy who came, who ruined, and now has departed the world.
Welcome back to Gistline. The news of former President Muhammadu Buhari's death has triggered a whirlwind of mixed reactions across Nigeria. While some paid their respects, a larger section of the public, especially those on social media, they responded with harsh mockery and blunt satisfaction. This reaction, though controversial, is not surprising to many. Buhari's presidency, which was marked by rising insecurity, economic hardship, ethnic tension, and perceived authoritarianism, left deep scars on ordinary Nigerians. To many, his passing felt like the final chapter in an era they would rather forget. Now, during his 2 terms in office, Buhari was seen by critics as a leader that squandered the hopes of millions, and his government was accused of nepotism, clamping down on dissent, and allowing insecurity to spiral out of control. Under his rule, that was when inflation skyrocketed, the naira weakened drastically, and basic amenities remained elusive to the average citizen. Many Southerners, especially from the southeast, they felt alienated under his leadership, with complaints of marginalization and political exclusion. To some Nigerians, Buhari symbolized an outdated style of governance, which was rigid, disconnected, and indifferent to modern realities. The online mockery seen after his death reflects the anger that these people have in them, and not just disrespect. However, amid the mockery and backlash, one truth remains undeniable. Death is the ultimate leveler. No matter how powerful or controversial a leader may be, mortality is a fate we all share. While Buhari's legacy will continue to be debated, it is important for Nigerians to move forward. Anger has its place, but healing and rebuilding are more vital. Instead of dwelling endlessly on a painful past, the nation must focus on demanding better leadership, strengthening institutions, and holding present and future leaders accountable. Buhari's chapter is closed. The future now lies in the hands of a more aware and assertive generation. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section. But before then, please kindly like, share, and subscribe.
Unfortunately, we were in the same hospital together, but I have been discharged. So when I heard the news of his passing away, I quickly went there to condole with the family and see what can be done in order to get him ready, to get the corpse ready to be taken home.
Talk to me about the man, your relationship with him, when you met him, your fond memories of him.
Well, my relationship with General Buhari went back to as far back as 1962. We joined the military. He was my senior, and during the unfortunate civil war, we were fighting in the same sector with him. General Buhari is a gentleman who is very quiet, but exceptionally honest. You can trust Buhari with anything on this earth, and he will not betray you. During his tenure as a military officer, you have seen how he has tried to fight corruption and also he established war against indiscipline in order to make us Nigerians behave the way the civilized world behaves. He introduced the war against indiscipline, and Nigeria was cleaner and more respectful during that tenure. Unfortunately, we lost those values that he tried to inculcate in Nigerians. When he became the democratic president, again, he tried his best to make sure that he fights corruption. Unfortunately, most of the officers, some of the officers who served with him are found wanting. They didn't do as much as is expected of them. So may he rest in peace. Well, certainly his death has been a big blow to Nigeria. President Tinubu has asked the vice president to come so that he can escort the body. This shows you the magnitude that has befallen Nigeria. With the passing away of President Buhari, politics in Nigeria will certainly change. I hope for the better. That's all.